This is Jonathan with the e-commerce business podcast, where the best people in the e-commerce industry share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because people in the industry know how important it is to move quickly. So let's get to it. Question number 1. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Tom Edwards. I'm a bit of a futurist, keynote speaker, been in the industry for about 20 years, really focused on consumer behavior, emerging technology, and how it all kind of comes together with how experience will evolve.
Excellent. Question number 2. What's the best thing about being in the e-commerce industry?
It's definitely the people, but it's also figuring out new and unique ways to actually take and apply, whether that's new ways in which to structure data, artificial intelligence, the role that systems are going to play moving forward with like simulations. I get really excited about how emerging technology can actually impact and shift and change behaviors tied to e-commerce.
Excellent. Question number 3. I hear from other people in the industry that you can hire cheap, but you pay for it. Your thoughts?
You know, it is the old adage of you do get what you pay for is actually true. And it depends on the type of campaign, type of product, the size of the organization. So it's never really one size fits all. So I work with a lot of Fortune 500 organizations. So for them, it is what you put into it is what you get out, especially in highly competitive categories for sure.
Excellent. Question number 4. What piece of advice do you want to share with e-commerce businesses?
It's really important to not just focus on, performance for today. It's really establishing and setting up and understanding how systems are evolving, the role that data plays. For example, I've worked with a number of high-level CPG organizations in reviewing kind of their e-commerce product descriptions. And what I found is that most of them aren't actually updated, but maybe once a year. What you can actually do is from an unstructured, 90% of the information on the web right now is unstructured, but it's incredibly important because you can pull themes, perceptions, occasions from that information. If you can take and apply that, you can identify emerging consumer trends that your product may be a part of. There may be a new DIY recipe. There may be a new kind of flavor that people are really getting excited about that you may want to take and begin associating your product with. So there are a number of ways that you could actively basically shift how you're positioning product to individuals. The other side of it is really understanding the shift that's happening. So I used to talk a lot about how disruption was new normal. Now it's about this convergence. It's the role of AI, but it's also the role of spatial computing. So when you start thinking about how we're going to shift from the mobile device being the primary way in which we shop and interface and interact to our environment adapting to us, it becomes really, really, really interesting. So what I'm seeing happening is I've done a lot of research across cross-generational cohorts from Gen Z all the way to boomers. And the number one reason why people will adopt intelligent systems is essentially ease and convenience. So when you start thinking about that to purchasing, from an e-commerce perspective, replenishment, et cetera, the idea that a system will take and drive the purchase on behalf of an individual is a reality. So that's one of the shifts that I see that's coming and changing. That and our environments becoming digitized to where you can be in a physical environment, but you can also then completely have a different overlay that will change the shopping experience, both from an e-commerce as in retail. It's a really exciting time, but these are things that traditional e-commerce businesses aren't really thinking about on the day-to-day because it's really about sales and inventory and all those other kind of key pieces.
Excellent. Wonderful. Question number 5. What other successful people in the e-commerce industry, like yourself, would you like to acknowledge that should be on my podcast?
I would definitely say Chris Erb. Chris is the founder of TripleClicks, and TripleClicks is a gaming strategy agency I've been working with for the last year. And one of the things that they really do is they align gaming with brands. Everything from putting game IP like a Gears of War on a bag of Chips Ahoy cookies, creating custom e-commerce SKUs, pushing those out through specific big box retailers. So it's a really, really interesting and unique approach, especially with the role that gaming plays right now. It's not about do you play games, it's what you play. It's kind of like asking, do you go to the movies? So he would be a great guest to basically talk about that side of commerce and gaming for sure.
Excellent. Question number 6, for the final fun question, tell me the oldest technology you remember using.
So this is really like, it's interesting. So I was digging through some old old items the other day, and I found I've been a gamer since the beginning. So I basically grew up with a controller in my hand. I loved Star Wars. I loved how that universe seemed to, like, the technology enabled everyone every step of the way. So I actually still have the old, it's from the late 70s. This is the Magnavox Odyssey 2. So this is basically a gaming system. This was my very first gaming system, and it had the cartridges you could plug in. It had this really kind of gummy keyboard. This still works, actually, by the way, too. But it's just, it's so much fun to see how you've got new consoles launching this fall. I'm a big PC gamer as well. So just seeing how that technology has evolved has been just absolutely phenomenal for sure.
I love it. Very good. Well, enjoyed having you on. How can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Blackfin360 across social. So I've got a blog, website, on all the social channels, on Alexa, on Google Home, on Google Assistant, so on Twitch. Anywhere you basically people look for information, probably have a presence there.
Excellent. This is Jonathan with the E-commerce Business Podcast. For more insights and ideas, go to our LinkedIn page at linkedin.com/company/Gretrix Digital.